semester of my college, so I didn't want to, sit for the placements. But then I thought, okay, like rather than, maintaining my attendance, it's better to go for the job, and like that, I won't have to sit in the class. So what happened? So I went there for a month, and the moment, I got my first salary, I left it. And during that 1 month, I wasn't a sincere person. It was a real estate startup. I used to fill fake sheets and submit it to my manager. And of course, I was also not feeling good about it, right? So then during that time, I was reading lots of books by Robin Sharma. I think it was 2014 winter, yeah. So I was too much into Robin Sharma and too much into motivation speaking and all. So I used to, watch their videos and everything. And I think I think I could do it also well because I was very good. I used to be very good at mimicry during my school. So I was good at like ratta and, how exactly to copy people, how they say things and everything. So that's what happened. So we started doing some meetups at NGOs with their students and all. But then one fine day, I pinged my partner then, saying that, hey, let's go to 5-star hotels tomorrow. And he was like, why 5 stars? I was like, you don't know. I follow Robin Sharma and Mark Sanban. So Mark Sanban is again, another leadership speaker. He does trainings for Starbucks employees and all. So I used to, see his videos, what he says in those trainings and all. So I was very confident. And then, I was just, I think 22. And, but I was that kind of a person that for me, I was not faking it. For me, it was like, there were no, ifs and buts. There was no blockage. I felt like, okay, like I can actually do this. Like I can train hotel employees. So next day we gate crashed into 18 hotels. In Gurgaon, we went to all kinds of hotels like, Lemon Tree. We also went to Trident, Crown Plaza, everything. And at a few places, the HRs were, met us, and a few places we got their cards. So wherever they met us, that gave me more confidence because they actually, I could hold a conversation with them because maybe I had rattad like all the words, and I was wearing a white shirt and a black coat so that I look a bit, elderly. So because I was just out of college. So that was it. And, at the end of the meeting, the HR, I think this was Fortune Hotel. The HR was like, we would be interested in doing this. Can you please send us, a presentation with your previous customers? But of course, I didn't have any previous customers. I didn't tell her anything then because I was having fun. I knew like, even if nothing happens, I will gain confidence. And for life, I will never be shy to gate crash, places and just, reach out to people without any inertia. So then I went back home, and next day I again, meet my partner at Starbucks, and I asked him that, yaar, like, ab kya kare, what to do? So he was like, see, you can't lie in business. So good, take it as a learning. So he was 8 years elder to me. So he was like, देखो मैं भी आपके साथ इसीलिए गया था because at my age I would not have gone like this without any meeting and just thought that I will become a leader and I will train the employees and all. So I went with you because I knew that you are you're shy, you're not shy, and I will also learn something. So you also take it as a learning. Don't feel bad like you learned sales by doing this. So then I was like, but I really want to speak, like what to do. So he was like, I think you have gone mad about speaking. So maybe write a book. All these motivational speakers write a book. So I took that also very seriously. Like I went back home. I started Googling, top 10 entrepreneurs, business world. So I used to put digits and media names, and whatever list, I saw, I copy pasted the name of the entrepreneurs and started adding them on my Facebook. So yeah, and then again, it gave me a lot of confidence because on Facebook also, like almost everybody like, accepted request, and whoever I had messaged, like they replied back like really nicely. It wasn't that they were like, we don't want to do this. So I had made a very naive message. I still have the screenshots. So it said something like, I'm a motivational speaker and I'm covering like top 100 entrepreneurs of India. And by, back then I didn't have any exposure. I didn't even know like jinko I'm reaching out, are they even like, the best entrepreneurs, because there was no criteria. So anyway, so that also gave me confidence, and I ended up meeting like some very, very young entrepreneurs, just my age and doing really well. And I also ended up meeting some 40-year-old entrepreneurs who, were in the corporate world. So there was a guy who was heading Thomson Reuters in India. Then he started with his healthcare startup. So I interviewed him as well. So it kind of, gave me a lot of confidence, because imagine I'm just out of college, and I think I had not even like finished my last semester, and I was, like people were replying, I was meeting them, and all these interviews are happening. So yeah, so that's how Hello Meets actually happened. Then when this was done, then I started working on a marketplace for co-working spaces. Then again, there, we used to identify one market each day. We used to go there to get these venues on board. Again, we used to just gate crash, just knock their doors and be like, we had made a nice pitch saying that, would you like to reduce your rent by sharing it with someone else, something like that. I don't remember the pitch exactly, but yeah. So this happened, and then we gave up on that idea after a few days, like, because somehow it didn't excite us much, and there were very lots of issues, because somebody wants a bigger office, somebody wants a cabinet, etc. So then but by then, we were working from SDA Market, right opposite to IIT Delhi. We used to work from Chayos, and at Chayos I met my present advisor. So he saw us, working on this idea the whole day, and he came to us and he was like, "What are you working on?" And we told him our idea, and we were all naive, right? So he gave us some suggestions how to go about the user research and all. So we liked it. We were like, "Wow, like someone, like he's so nice. Someone like is helping you like out of nowhere for free." And then one fine day he again comes to us. He's like, "You have not even started with your startup. Why don't you come to my office and sit from there? Like, why are you spending so much money sitting in Chayos from morning to evening?" So then we went there, and now he's my present advisor. So this happened, and then we gave up on this idea. And when we gave up on this idea, our advisor was like, "Do you even want to do a startup? Like, are you guys serious?" Because so this happened. We were like, yeah, we are very serious, but we want to start something which we'll be doing for like at least 10 years. And so then what happens, I remember it was 20th Feb. I am really good at dates. So it was 20th Feb 2015. We were sitting at Barista, and my advisor was like, what do you love doing? It was a simple question, and my spontaneous answer was, I love meeting people. He was like, "For sochna kya hai? Make it your business." So that's how Hello Meets was born. I have a blog for it. I'll maybe copy paste the link in the chat so that others can also read it. So this was a very, very summarized story, but yeah. I think Neha wants to say something. Yeah.
Yeah, Saiba, beautiful story because I think you spoke very honestly and very candid, and I really liked it because it speaks a lot about you as a person. But more than anything else, what I was reading with the story is it's a very courageous story. You were not scared of going for cold calls and meeting new people, and I think that made Hello Meets come in picture today. And I know today you've built a amazing community also of Hello Meets people. So tell us a little bit about it because we have a lot of community builders here and they'll be happy to know how you went about building this community and then what does it,
Okay, so
primarily
first of all,
takes
I
to build
feel
a
don't get
community like
into it
that.
if you don't like really love it, because it's hard. Anything that goes for anything, in fact, that goes for even like a very tech heavy startup, like but even like for communities, it's like too organic. I would say, just you say, it's organic marketing. It's organic, be like like father of organic. So yeah, so you should only do it if you really love it, because it's gonna be hard. And it's not that, for example, I love coffee and I make a coffee lovers group today. It's not going to happen that people will start helping each other or meeting like today. You might have to fake it also for some time. Maybe you will have to post some useful stuff for like coming 30 days, maybe 2 months, 3 months. and tweak it along the way, seeing what people like, what they are talking about. So it's really hard. So I think number one, get into it if you really love it. Number two, I think everybody should tell them the hard reality that community building is a very, very slow process. It pays a lot, but it's a very, very slow process. So be ready for that. Don't look for like instant gratification. And yeah, and I think like you will do well, like if you're a naturally people's person, and plus like keep helping people, like whatever your goal is, align that with like your execution, and whatever execution goal is there, like like for example, if I have a jobs community, then I should be like really helpful. Like for example, if say like you lose your job today, I should go like out of my way to post about it, help you in some way, like in getting you some freelance work or something. So yeah, that's what I would like to say. Yeah.
I think you have in turn also build a team along with the community. So there are a lot of people here who are struggling, as you rightly said, because I operate a community with 4.5 lakh moms, and I know how difficult it is to manage women in and out. And what has helped me is my moderation team. What exactly have you done to create this team? And if you can also, share your own expertise on how others can also take, learning from that.
Oh. Yeah, so and also one thing I say, I think like don't let anyone join your community. Have a curated one. Like even for example, like if you're building a women-only community, then you should exactly know what is your niche, because women are also like lots of types, right? Lots of interests, lots of goals. So have people who are like who have, for example, your community only caters to women who have new babies. Then have only them. Don't have like maybe her mom-in-law or maybe someone who had a baby like 5 years ago, because then they won't be like sync between the like the goals of everybody, and that might affect the quality of our conversations and interest. And yeah, so that's a very big thing. And I've seen, because people compromise on this. Firstly, they don't know how to focus, and then secondly, even if they know, they compromise on this thinking that चलो कोई बात नहीं 10 लोग और आ जाएंगे, so let's add them also, like let's have them also. So be very clear what kind of woman you want. For example, I'm making a makeup community, then I should have some guidelines ki who are applying makeup every day, I'll have them only. I'm just giving an example. So something like that, right? It should be very, very clear, na idhar ka na udhar ka. So I think that's a very, very important thing to know and execute. Yeah.
So Sahiba,
Yeah,
go ahead, Neha.
Yeah, Neha.
So Sahiba, are you able to hear me? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yes. So you've shared your story about how you started with Hello Meets. However, you've been able to scale it as well, right? So you are now in 3 countries, and you've kind of built this community in India in 8 cities. How did you go about scaling the community, right? Like we spoke about, doing. You guys are able to hear me, right? Okay, the screen was frozen. Sorry. So it is. While obviously, as you rightly said, community building is literally a 24/7 job, right? And it is a lot of hustle that you need to go through. However, when it comes to scaling community is where people tend to struggle a lot. So how did you go about thinking about it? How did you go about planning about it? And how did you scale? Are there any secret mantras or any other tips that you have to share with us about your journey about scaling this community?
Yeah, I think 2 things are coming to my mind. Number one, again, focus, because, just a small thing like who should be there, what kind of meetups will you do? So having a very, very clear foundation. Like, for example, we only do paid meetups. We are now doing free, but they are not free meetup. They are completely different kind of meetups. They're just to, just for chilling and hang out, because that also we started doing after Corona, because people can't meet each other, right? So still all are like learning meetups. Like we have never ever done free meetups. So I think the foundation and your basic rules and guides should be like really fixed, because Once they're fixed, then only you can scale well. Otherwise, you will not be clear, your team, your volunteers will not be clear what to do. Randomly, one day some speaker will say, hey, let's do a free meetup, and someone will, say, hey, okay, we'll do it for free. But that's not the case, right? So I think exactly knowing what to say no to, like I just gave you an example of paid and unpaid, but it can be something else also. So I think scaling is simple, but yeah, I think maybe this is also hard to say no to things. But yeah, I think do things for a particular period of time. When you feel it has reached a certain mass, then follow those same steps to just scale. And I think in case of community, mostly people go with decentralizing power and work and everything, like for example, Kerry and David, they started, right? They're sitting in USA, but look at you guys, like you are doing it so well in India right now. You're holding this meetup. So I'm sure they must be very focused about it, ki kya karna hai, kaise karna hai. And they did a few meetups maybe in USA, and they figured out ki okay, बहुत clarity होगी कि ऐसे करना है. So then they never thought कि oh shit, India में कैसे करेंगे, because they knew कि exactly इसी को replicate करना है. So yeah, that's the case. And I think particularly in case of community, like decentralization of power is very important, but that also you do once you exactly know कि आपको क्या करना है. So yeah, that's the way to, I think, go about scaling. Yeah.
So Sahiba, you were talking about paid meetups and these free meetups, right? What is in it for people to attend your paid meetups? How did you establish, that proposition, that value proposition for people, and how did you see them reacting to this? So how do you really get people to attend these meetups? Could you share some, thoughts around that?
Sure. So our very first meetup in 2015, it was also paid, because I mean we never thought कि चलो free का करते हैं just to get people, because maybe also because we have been bootstrapped since day one. So ऐसा कुछ दिमाग में आया नहीं कि वो quickly you have to acquire people and फिर बाद में देखेंगे क्या करना है. So for us it was each and every meetup is important, because we get paid from those meetups. So I think number one, that maybe helped us. And then secondly, see, when you do your first few meetups, you really don't know, right? Like what is the value prop? Extra to kuch nahi pata hota, and especially at that age, because you understand, right? Like if I do something now, maybe I'll think, which I think will be maybe a disadvantage. That was an advantage back then, because I didn't think too much. I just, bought, like our first meetup was, I think, a speed dating hiring event. And then at the hiring event, lots of startup folks, told us that why don't you bring, professionals from startups who share with us, like, for example, how they are doing their Facebook ads, how they are doing their like Twitter marketing or anything, right? And then we started inviting people, and simply we used to, and back then we didn't have any guidelines and all, we used to be simply pitching them that, hey, would you like to come and share your lessons with, our community? And that's how it happened. But of course, once we did it for like lots of years, I think not even like few months, like I think we formed guidelines like early last year, early summer or something. And of course we had started improving before that also, but then we formed like a finally like proper guidelines then, because then we understood that okay, there is a pattern. Because pehle kya hota tha, speakers used to just give us the content. Now of course still they give us, but there are some guidelines that you need to have, like for example case studies. It can't be like a complete theoretical event. And like we also give them clarity what kind of people will exactly come. They also need to tell us what will be the level of the content, even for example, even if it's for community builders, should we like invite people who are beginners, intermediate, advanced, or things like that. So yeah, that's how we have been going. And I think अब value वो naturally खुद ही निकल गया, because we have been doing this, and we kept observing the patterns, and forming guidelines and making sure it's happening that way. And of course, marketing is sometimes still a problem because maybe you're experimenting with a new topic, maybe a few people will turn up, or but that's fine, right? As I told you, community building is hard. Plus, you're bootstrapped, like you won't, like throw money to just get people. So it's okay. Like I'm pretty fine with that. So it's already in my head that some meetups might go wrong. So it's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
So, could you talk a little bit about how initial set of people in the community? And then, we can talk more about, some questions that Neha wanted to Neha Pari wanted to ask you.
Sure.
I think these are lessons that people will kind of find very valuable if they're starting up with their community. There are so many people, like I struggled initially in terms of thinking through how do I get that initial set of people on board, and then slowly build them up into somebody who's a loyal member of the community.
Oh, I did some really hard things. Might scare a few people. Yeah. So we used to like ourselves, go to colleges. And I still remember like sometimes I went from South Delhi to North Campus, which is like again, if you go in a metro, it will take you like 2.5 hours going, coming. And then there, we used to like just walk in the campus, meet students one by one, have a pen and a copy in my hand and, keep noting down their emails, numbers, and keep telling them like, again and again, repeat the same lines. Ki hum ye karte hain, karte hain, karte hain. So that was the way we went to like lots of colleges ourselves, IIT Delhi, Triple IIT Delhi, we went to DC, we went to lots of DU colleges. So that was the thing. Yeah, definitely it was hard, but then yeah, I think that you have to do. And so yeah, initially I think everybody does like that. Even I remember attending Urban Clap CEO's event like lots of years back. He came as a speaker to Hello Meets. So he also said the same thing that first 1,000 users we like actually we ourselves met them and got them on board. So that you always need to do, and especially in case of I think community builders, that will always keep on happening. Of course, like later on you will have word of mouth and your community will bring in new members, but for us I think that's more than like first initial 3-6 months. You will also always have to be a people's person and like at least speak to a few every month, not like not like hundreds or thousands. So that was the case. And also we used LinkedIn a lot. I remember I used to literally spam people, but very warm message, like not those message which look like bot type ki bahut salesy ho gaya. Like very nice pitch, very customized pitch I had made. So in 2015, all these companies were very famous, housing, grofers, etc. So I used to just go to the company name, open all employees, and tuck, add them and send them a message saying that hey, we are coming up with a speed dating hiring event, and make a small pitch how Hello Meets helps them. So that was our first meetup, right? So I think that frankly speaking that really helped me because I think housing ka to, like everybody knows, right, like what story happened, but everybody also knows like they had the best designers, right? So till date, like because I did all that mehnat, I know all the good designers wherever they are working in whatever startup. Now some of them are in Swiggy, etc., like lots of many startups. But usse kya hota na, like now it's like kind of so easy. So all that, like all those cream of designers like have spoken at Hello Meets. Like I think almost all of them like who were working with housing, because I had just added them like tuck, 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 tuck. So I think my tuck, 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 tuck wali habit, like which I did, in 2015, it has really paid me well. I think even my book speakers, even my book, people who are covered, almost all of them have spoken at Hello Meet. So kind of, like whoever I connected with, I have, maintained that relationship and engaged with them in some way or the other. So yeah, I think I always do that. Like if I'll connect with you today, I'll make sure we do something together sometime or the other. Yeah. So I think that's a good lesson for
Such amazing lessons. There's so many lessons in that, in all that you spoke about. I think, all of us are community builders, and we couldn't agree more that it is the hustle. It is just the hustle. There is no other mantra, right? I mean, the fact that you literally have to kind of go on doing what you did to build that initial set of momentum is something which is a no-brainer, right? Like, you have got to do it. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing so many learnings while you were talking about all of this.
Yeah, I would like to agree with what Neha said, Sneha, that a very interesting way. First of all, you were using unique ideas, but again, hardworking was a part of it. It wasn't easy. So I think your connections are your connections today because of the kind of hard work they would have seen what you've put in into the efforts which you would have put in to reach out to them and today make connections. You spoke about paid meetups, Sahiba, and I have the mother community is a hyper local community. Like, we don't have one India group or a world group. We have city-wise group. Like Neha started talking about Momo Mumbai Moms, which was the first community I've built. The entire concept of a hyper local community was to make people meet offline, and that's what you're doing, Sahiba, today. But having said that, I also agree that offline meetups are not an easy task when it comes to monetizing your community. Because, see, everybody's talking about revenue today, monetization. As you also mentioned, Saiba, that every meetup, like today, we have had a lot of RSVPs, but few people turned up. So I think this is the real irony of life. So, Saiba, how do you deal with it? How do you make sure that other revenue streams are also in place, if there are? And if there are other revenue share streams, please talk about us. Talk about those to us, such that we also understand how to really scale up the community with a monetization push, which is very important today.
Okay. So no, we have just one revenue stream, which is paid attendees. So in our case, people don't. There are less, people who don't turn up because they have paid for it, right? So
So what are people not paying only in Saiba? Like, you were expecting, say, 100 registrations, only 20 paid.
that
So
happens less. I don't know maybe because of starting sale of the care. So we have, I think that goes with this example which I was saying, right? So exactly know who to have. So we never encourage, free meetups. We never do them ourselves. And even if, like, sometimes, not anyone has, asked me ever in 5 years that, hey, why are they paid? Of course they do, right? And of course, sometimes you end up connecting with someone, or someone ends up texting you saying that, by the way, why is this meetup paid? Like, every meetup is free. But then we don't care about them if they are not coming, because we exactly know they are not for us. So it's fine if
but
someone, yeah.
to take care of the cost, Sahiba, do you tie up with venues which are more friendly, or who are hosting you free? Because any which ways, meetup fee is the only fee you're saying you're
Okay,
collecting.
so we used to have all free venues.
Okay, so that's the mantra.
That's again the no. I think the mantra there is again, community and strong relationships, because everybody was getting value out of it. Like, for example, we are hosting a meetup at Razorpay or Zeta in Bangalore. They are also getting benefited, right? Because our meetups are paid. Not random people are coming. Only those youngsters are coming who are very serious on a Saturday and a Sunday morning to learn that particular topic, and plus they have paid a certain amount, right? So right now we are doing online meetups, so it's 400, but earlier it was like 600, 700. So yeah, I think even me as a founder,
You
I would love to meet a,
you host them in hotels also, Sahiba. You host them in hotels, and
yeah, that was
you
before
don't.
Hello Meets, which we were doing.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, that I
got it.
just
Yeah.
pitch them, like it never happened. Like, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think my last question to you will be, after that, Neha can take the mic back. You mentioned about COVID time, and I know you are offline meetup community, so I'm sure you are facing a lot of struggle when it comes to curating online events today. And you just mentioned that you're not really charging people for that. So how do we go about it? Because a lot of people here are in the similar space. So if you can share your tips and tricks there.
Okay, so about the online community.
Online meetups, what you're doing right now in the COVID time.
Okay. So, can I also know what are the attendees into, like what kind of meetups they do, so that maybe I can give a better answer, like which helps them more?
Sure, we can have people maybe write in their inputs in the
Yeah,
chat. In the
yeah.
chat. So essentially, your question, Sahiba, is what are people doing right now in terms of with their community? Are these online, offline communities? How are they connecting with their communities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I would like to add one point. It came to my mind from Neha's question, like the other Neha. You both are Neha, so it's like very
I know
confusing.
Team Neha.
Yeah. So Neha, when I was talking about focus, about doing paid meetups, like knowing exactly, what kind of people you want in a community. So this is also one part. Like for example, say we had like lots of venue partners, right? So lots of times, like some startups used to tell us, ki, we want to do an exclusive event. So can you do the event for free and we'll pay you something, right? So we used to not agree and understand. हमारा तो भला ही होना था. We could have got more, right? Because they are all well funded startups. They would have paid us like a good amount. But we used to always say no. It's hard, right? So I think the most important thing to scale and to build a community, like a good scale community, which is like very consistent, is also exactly to know what you have to say no to. So our clear funda is कि we'll do ticketed events. We won't take money from the company. We want our attendees to pay. Each and every attendee who comes, उसका persona ही ऐसा होना चाहिए कि he is so serious कि वो अपने लिए pay कर रहा है, not कि Razor पे pay कर रहा है and then we are promoting the event and then developers or product managers are coming. So I thought maybe this is a good point for others. So yeah, I just mentioned, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so many learnings, so many examples. That is what I love about your talk today, Sahiba. Sahiba, one last question, and then I definitely want to kind of quickly open up for Q&A from people. You did mention about the volunteer network that you've built out. How did you go about doing that? And how did you go about kind of scaling that network?
Yeah, sure. So I think the first volunteers, this idea also came again, relationship wala funda hai yahan pe. So I met some developer. He comes from some village near Pondicherry. I met him in Bangalore. While we were doing our first meetup in Bangalore, we went there and we met a lot of founders, and he was working with one of the founders. That founder was actually training him because he was so genuine with his coding skills. So he like even funded his startup and all. So I just remembered his name, and as I told you that I have this nature that if I meet someone in 2015, I just remember and somehow we'll engage if we have to engage, right? Like if there is like a situation where I feel it's a win-win and that person exactly fits into it. So what happened? So in 2018 April, we had to launch Chennai. And I thought okay, when in 2015 it made sense to go somewhere, but why should I go somewhere now? Like let's try, ऐसे ही try करते हैं community के through. So of course, because we had not done any meetup in Chennai, so I didn't know anyone, right? Like to volunteer. But of course, by then I knew how to go about reaching out to a venue or getting a speaker, right? Speaker was simple, like you can always reach out through LinkedIn or Twitter or anything. And then venue also, at least we knew the process, right? I didn't know any venue per people, but then we knew the process. So again, because we had already started in Delhi and Bangalore, so of course a few people like had us in their mind कि ऐसा भी कुछ है, like which keeps on happening in Bangalore and Delhi, because it's a small community, right? Startup community. So that's what happened, and I think we booked a venue at Ink Monk. It's an e-commerce startup, like they sell, you must be knowing, right? Merchandise and everything. So they did the event, and then it came to selecting the volunteers. So there were just two options: either I go take a flight and go and get this first event done. But then this guy came to my mind who I had met in 2015 in Bangalore. I called him. I was like, hey, Tendul Raj, can you, like, I know now you're running your own company. So I have an event over here. It's on product design. Would you mind, sending your teammates there as volunteers, and no pressure? I told him this also, no pressure. Like, if you really feel that listening to, Freshworks designer makes sense and it can help them. So, and he just sent them, and I was feeling maybe it's an obligation because we know each other now and all. But then after the event, that like they really praised it, and his team was like, "Hey, keep sending us there, like because we got good learning and we don't mind, volunteering on the weekends." And then, I realized, ki, oh, like I did it, sitting from here. So before that, what we had in Bangalore, we had a partner. We used to share some percentage of profits with her, like from each meetup. But then when this happened, I realized, no, like how will we scale like that, like that? Ek to cost bhi zyada ho jata hai, plus I think base years ke liye it was fine, because aap volunteer bhi tabhi rakhoge, right, when you have a certain mass and certain credibility. But then I thought maybe we can convert the same way, like every city, and we'll save also more as a bootstrap startup, and we'll become more scalable also, because like this you're dependent on one person, but like that, you have like multiple volunteers. So yeah, that's how it happened. And then I finally went to Chennai, like Abhi, like in 2020 Jan, after 2 years of running in Chennai without going. And we were doing like around 9-10 meetups only in Chennai every month without me going ever. So yeah, and then of course the ripple effect, right? Like koi aaya, fir usne kisi aur ka venue refer kiya, and once you have 2-3 venues also, you can tell other people, that you can tell Freshworks that we have done a meetup at ChargeBee, etc., and then they say yes, right? So I think Neha mentioned, right, when I was talking about, I don't know which example, but Neha mentioned that, when people also see you working hard, they feel like, contributing more and all. So yeah, I think one more key lesson for community builders is that always, your consistency will help you. Like, so consistency is a way of, building credibility, trust, and brand. If you keep doing something, you don't need to do some extra brand building activity. So I think, and one more amazing way to pitch someone, like these days, I was reaching out to some no code speakers on Twitter. So what I do when I'm reaching out to them, I always tell them, I don't tell them that we are doing a no code meetup and would like to invite you. I always tell them that we are doing a series of no code meetup. So it's just a small word, but it's an experiment I've seen. When you say series, it gives a feeling that it's a continue hone wala cheese, right? So it's give like more, it feels like you're consistent and people like help you more. So that's it. Yeah, hope that helps.
साहिबा, I'm ready to ask you, कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि कोई स्पीकर ने बोला है भाई आई चार्ज?
Oh, that has also happened. Those cases maybe we say no. We tell them the reason why we charge, right? So of course, like amount hi kitna, right? Like it's 399, and we have to run a small team also. So we clearly tell them why we charge, and nahi kar sakte to we clearly tell them. And kabhi kabhi, of course, like speaker out of curiosity bhi puch rahe hain, why will I lie? Like sometimes they ask, but it's not that they reject. When they listen to your reason, ki you have some operational cost, and there is a team of 3-4 people, like full timers, not volunteers, because volunteers are beyond this, right? Like who look after the meetups, but you also have your full time team, right? So we tell them this, and in case they don't want to do so, don't want to do, as I told you, right? Like be very clear कि किस चीज को लेना है, किस चीज को नहीं लेना है. There's no this thing, right? And there's no disrespect also in that. It's fine.
I feel your tips are very, very practical, Sahiba, and wonderful, wonderful conversation. Me and Neha, we enjoyed a lot. And I think that's the time to open the forum to all the attendees here. Neha, do you want to take the questions and give it to Sahiba? I think our attendees have also asked some questions.
Right. Just give me a moment. So I've enabled the Q&A section now. So if you want to just type in your question so that I can just read it out to Sahiba and she can take your questions then. You need to click on the chat.
Yeah,
right-hand corner which says show chat.
Yeah,
And then there's a section called Q&A. Yeah. For the rest of the attendees, in case you have any questions, please do type in here. So while the questions come in, I have one question for you, Sahiba. So, so what next after COVID, right? Like you have now, COVID kind of obviously forced all of us to kind of go online, but I'm assuming that you'd want to kind of still retain your offline element and, and you're already doing online. So how are you thinking about this, post-COVID or when, it slows
So
down a little bit?
so
What are your thoughts
majorly it
around
will
that?
remain online, like the main, the main events, like the bulk of events. But we'll definitely have some offline presence because I feel both are important. Like I told you, like maybe we'll do this way, like the networking meetups that we are doing. Because why we started with a few free meetups, right? Only for networking, not for learning. Like there, no speaker comes. Only the peer group meets each other, like talks and all. So maybe we'll continue the networking one offline for stronger bonds, and maybe the learning one online. So it will be mixed, offline, online. But yeah, the bulk business, like the business oriented meetups, will like stay online because definitely I think COVID has been lucky for us because it's like kind of it's kind of an educational community, right? Like it's like the form of education is shorter, but it's like kind of education only because the meetups are like very focused and the topics are to learn. So I think, yeah, it's anyway a COVID lucky space. And I think, yeah, no point of going offline for sure. Yeah. But yeah, but having said that, one more thing I would like to add, that don't take this learning exactly as I'm saying, because if new community builders are learning from this talk, they should always start learning offline, because community building, most of it is like almost all of it is like psychology. I think the things that I was just telling me reaching out to people to write a book on them, then me meeting people in the hotels, then me meeting our early customers offline, and noting down their stuff on the diary, that really helped. Even if today you're doing an online startup, meet them, talk to them offline, because that will build your foundation of understanding people, like what they say, why they say. And that's really, really important. Even if you're building like a super AI tech like something, like still you should know people, because at the end of the day, you're not building anything for tech, right? Like you're building for people. So yeah, that is very, very important. Yeah, so I'm very thankful for the offline events because they taught us a lot. Yeah.
So we have some very interesting questions coming in. Nitin is asking that it is very difficult not to get influence, especially when it comes to monetization and scaling, but seems to be very clear in this case. What's the secret?
Okay, I won't lie. So I think I'm just trying to understand actually what's the secret. Okay, so I think maybe it's my advisor, and maybe I'm lucky again to have a person like him who is not distractive. Like he always. I think kya hota na, because I had an advantage when I started. I was completely like clay, like you can mold me anyway, because I was just out of college, right? I had no baggages, I had no inertias, and especially because naturally my story says, right? Like I anyway didn't have any inertia. But then see क्या होता है कि if I would have met a person जो मेरे को starting में कुछ ऐसी चीजें सिखाता कि पैसा फेंको, पेड मार्केटिंग करो, तो वैसे ही बन जाती ना. ऐसा थोड़ी ना कि मेरे पास कुछ एक्स्ट्रा दिमाग था. So I would definitely be thankful to him. His name is Vishal Chandra. In case you want to follow him on Twitter or reach out to him on LinkedIn, I'll drop his link in the chat, and also I'll drop the link of my story in case you want to read the entire thing. So I think definitely he has a major role to play, because I feel even when we do a startup, it's like a culture. Like आपकी टीम नहीं भी होती, उससे पहले भी आपका कल्चर बिल्ड होता है, क्योंकि जैसे आपकी जर्नी होती है, या जैसे जैसे लोग आपको मिलते हैं, जो mentors मिलते हैं, that's all your culture, right? Like even your co-founders like build your culture. Because if you have a co-founder who's very mehanti, who thinks organic, you will also think organic. If your co-founder has a mentality like housing.com, you will also become like a housing.com. I'm just giving an example. So that's the thing. I think it's like all about Sangat. So I think it comes from him. And now, of course, because initially वैसा mold हो गया, and now it's like I've also become like that. And anyway, I think I'm overall fearless and all. So I think, yeah, it's good to be focused. And, I keep reading about other startups also abroad and who are doing well and all. So every like great investor says, like it's super important to be like बहुत like ज़्यादा focus, like don't do extra things, like just focus on one thing. And once you're big, then of course add more things, but don't think about doing ये भी कर लेते हैं, वो भी कर लेते हैं, because like we had like lots of opportunities. Like I can mention a few more, like where we have rejected things. So number one, I think when companies have asked us that we'll pay you. And then also things like because we have a community, so we have been helping a lot of people with hiring. Again, it has all been for free. Of course, we don't go out of the way, we just post on our community groups. But then there was also an opportunity, right? Like maybe we would have thought कि चलो ये भी कर लेते हैं, क्योंकि talented लोग तो आ ही रहे हैं community में, and जो भी PM चाहिए होगा या designer चाहिए होगा, यहाँ से उठा के दे देंगे and we'll take a cut. But yeah, I always thought that's a bad idea. Why? Because if I've chosen this thing, that I might as well do this thing well. And when I reach a point where I know like I'm doing, like say for example 100 meetups or 1,000 meetups a month, and the sales for each and every meetup is fine, then I'll go on adding some other business. And maybe I'll add something else also, because there are lots of opportunities. I think we are also starting with longer boot camps from 2021. Will the ticket price will be higher? But then why we are doing this again, focus. It goes with what we are doing right now, right? It's not something else. It's not hiring. It's not any matchmaking. It's exactly meetups, but meetups ka alag format. So those we'll be doing like other than our existing thing. And then again, we are doing one more thing in meetups, which is like peer group meetups. We are coming up with clubs, very niche clubs. We are starting with newsletter club, like people who are creating newsletters. We'll be forming a club for them. We'll be, there'll be like a monthly charge kind of thing. But again, there is focus. Why I said yes to it and why I started working on this, because it exactly goes with what we are doing. It's not hiring. It's not, taking money from someone else. Like still the money is coming from the people. So usse kya hota hai? Usse you get serious community members. Not कि बस ऐसे ही चलो चलते हैं, free cover है. So yeah.
No, however, it was quite a courageous decision. It's not easy जब आप नहीं बोलते हो कोई चीज को, जब आपके सामने, like as you rightly mentioned, the sponsor idea, which is much more easier because you are not dependent on how many tickets you will sell, how many people will sign up. It takes a lot of courage. I would say you are a very brave person, and I agree with your formula of sticking to your niche. Like I'll tell you, when we started conversing, like all three of us, you saw a commonality between me and Neha, which was of parenting. But having said that, Neha would know, I would know that, of course, Baby Chakra and Momo Mumbai moms more or less were launched at the same time. Naya is also a fantastic friend. But having said that, she was in the parenting space with baby as a focus, the newborn, new mothers and all of that. Whereas my community is totally focused on mothers, mothers and their me time. So I don't talk about diapering. So there are a lot of brands who come to us and talk about, endorsing our community. It doesn't really go well with our philosophy, which would have fitted into the scope of Baby Chakra if they are promoting baby products and all of that. But I think it's a beautiful point, Sahiba, because a lot of people give into this greed and divert from their vision. So thank you, Sahiba. That was such a wonderful, wonderful tip.
And you should think long term. That will help you, because if you think long term, what will make me bigger, then you will stick to it. Because see, sponsorship, like we have been missing, like since such a long time, like people do events, they find sponsors, they take them. But imagine if I am able to create a decentralized community where like in the coming 5 years, I'm able to do like 1,000 meetups. That's the kind of vision I have. So that's possible with this, right? Like that's not possible if I do traditional heavy, capital intensive meetups which are happening in 5 stars and with lots of sponsorship money coming. So I think, yeah. So always think what you want in 5 years and what steps, go with it. If
It's
they don't go
very
with it,
easy as an entrepreneur to kind of get distracted, right? So easy, so easy. So I think, as you rightly said, consistency and stay built long term with a paranoia, because there will be stages where as a community builder or an entrepreneur you would feel nahi yaar ye kaam nahi kar raha, let me try this as well, let me try 10 other things. But as you rightly said, you have to be super focused, you have to kind of try it out consistently to tell whether it's working for you or not. So I think that was a very relevant point. Priya asks, how have you identified, capability, in the sense capable volunteers, and how do you incentivize them to stick around and do so much for you?
okay. So identification has been simple so far. Like we have got interest groups. So, whoever is, so we don't have fixed volunteers. So whoever, is interested in holding a meetup, like for example, you're a product designer and today Swiggy designer is coming and that in that specific topic you are interested. So you can also go. We have a guide. You need to follow that. Of course, we test a bit, and kuch volunteers we have identified who are repeat volunteers. So of course we trust them more, and in case of very very new volunteers, either we'll do a test call with them or we'll send some senior volunteer with them, like who has previously done some meetups. And does that answer the question, or you ask some other part as well? Yeah, was there one more part?
Yeah, there was another, which is how do you incentivize them to stick around and do so much for the community?
Okay, so until now, when it was offline, we used to not do anything extra. The benefit was simple, it was organic again. So it was like you're going, right? Like, so you're getting the ticket for free, because if you're a volunteer, you don't need to pay. Otherwise, you have to pay like 600, 700. And plus, जब offline होता है ना, you are getting other benefits also, because आप host हो तो you will end up talking more to the speaker, right? So your networking building is like more. And online mein that has reduced. So I have seen online mein there are other benefits. Online mein, what we do other than that, we have kept a group where we keep on engaging them with other decision making of Hello Meets as well. So people like really, so see, you don't have to, first of all, I think this is also very very big mistake कि आप ऐसे सोचो कि ये वॉलंटियर है हमारा, इसने एक मीटअप अटेंड किया तो मुझे कुछ वापस देना है. दैट इज ऑल्सो बैड मेंटालिटी. नॉट कि नहीं देना है, बट वो आप उसको बहुत ऐसे नहीं रख सकते हो कि 100 रुपए दिए 100 रुपए वापस लेने या 100 रुपए वापस देने. दैट इज वेरी डेंजरस. आई वुड से कि उससे जेन्युइन वॉलंटियर्स नहीं आएंगे, एंड दैट्स नॉट द राइट वे. बिकॉज अंडरस्टैंड, अगर कोई वॉलंटियर करने के लिए जिसने यस बोला है, उसने पैसों के लिए या किसी गिफ्ट के लिए नहीं बोला है, उसने इसलिए बोला है. अंडरस्टैंड द इंटरनल मोटिवेशन. द इंटरनल मोटिवेशन इज दैट आपको लोग देखेंगे कि आप होस्ट हो, आप बोल रहे हो, राइट? So today when you are hosting this meetup, I'm sure both of you maybe like speaking to people, right? It's not that David needs to pay you something or send you a gift. I'm sure you are internally driven, that you love meeting entrepreneurs and you love hosting this show, like, and all. So I think go with internal motivations rather than giving something. And in case you want to give something, which we have also started doing now, like when we are online, because online you have to maintain some human touch, because they are also not getting to meet people. So what we do, we are just simply maintaining their birthday sheet, and we are sending them one book on their birthday. And we are also maintaining their interest. For example, I'll give you an example. Like our recent volunteer, he was interested in public speaking, so we sent him a public speaking book. And by the way, if you are into meetups, I have seen lots of volunteers join who are bad at public speaking, and do take them, because I've seen them doing really well. Even in case of our offline meetups, there was a guy who used to be so shy when he came to Hello Meets, and he just like he started volunteering like crazy. Like I think in Delhi he used to volunteer for like five meetups every month. And now he has stopped doing it, like he has got busy in something else. This was like back in 2016. So he, like, a few days back, he again, texted me saying that, hey, Sahiba, now I'm doing my own meetups also. I think he's doing into grooming meetups. He's doing like personality grooming and all. So he told me, like, I remember that day, when I came to Hello Meets, I couldn't even, like, shake hands. And then I started speaking because मेरी इतनी practice हो गई बोल बोल के host कर करके. And abhi recently also we met a similar guy. So just a point, don't feel कि you need to take people who are very well spoken and very smart, because see, stories yahin se aayenge and people will stick more if you uplift them. So if you see potential, they will be even more internally driven to speak and make them good.
I think that's an incentive, right? What bigger an incentive than what you gave to this guy by being part of your community and leading that chapter? Well, these were the questions. Thank you so much, Sahiba, for joining today. I think such an insightful conversation. I just want to let everybody know that I've recorded this conversation as well. So I will share the link post the event. But yeah, thank you so much again, Sahiba. So many lessons. I think I learned a lot from you as well today. And there's always a reiteration when we talk about these conversations. It's also about just reiteration, reminding yourself of what you could do. And thank you so much for all the attendees. Thank you so much for attending today.
You were a great host, yeah.
Thank
Very
you so
warm,
much.
and you asked like really nice questions, so it was kind of very engaging, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Like, there are so many things that come up during conversations, and I think that really helps. Yes,
Yeah.
Sahiba, you're saying something?
Should I share the links with them?
Yes, please. In the chat, in the general tab.
Yeah. I think one person was curious about the focus part, right? So I'll share my advisor's Twitter handle.
Okay.
And feel free to DM him in case anyone is starting up with the community. You can tell him that you attended this meetup and would like to get some similar advice. And I'll also share the story link, what led to the idea of Hello Meets.
Yep.
I
I think your blog, right?
Put this recording on our FB live as we planned, and FB video maybe, and people can refer to it later. I think this conversation was quite interesting, and there are a lot of takeaways for a lot of startups and community builders. So I think they'll love it. We'll put it on our page, Neha, CMX Mumbai page, and attendees, you can also follow that page because we keep uploading. Either we go live from that page or we keep uploading our videos there. So you can just check it out there.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a lovely weekend and a lovely afternoon. Take care.
Thanks, Neha. Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Bye.
Sahiba.
Thanks, Sahiba. Thanks, Neha.
And thanks to the audience. Have a great weekend. Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye, everyone.